Good morning. I just got back from a beautiful trip for my work to New Orleans to the AORN conference, where nurses from all over the world come and see what different companies have out there to help them. And nurses are so beautiful and just what they do, right? Being with the patients. It was awesome. Being in New Orleans was incredible on multiple levels. At one point, one of my coworkers and I were sitting by the river, and it was so beautiful. And behind us, there were people playing music on the streets. And when we got up and started walking by, I got to talk to them, and they were retired, and they were just playing their music, and they were sharing with me. They started talking about spirits. Of course, I'm like, oh, what do you got there, right? I just wanted, I could have sat there and talked to them all day. I just wanted to hear everything. So one of them was sharing how they didn't get guitar lessons. They're just channeling in whatever to play, and it's beautiful. And then they shared with how they see different entities like spirits and aliens just beings, right, that are different than what we see every day as humans. And it was so validating. On my way down to New Orleans, when I was in the airport, I saw in one of the bookshops a brown woman, and half of her face was green. And I didn't say anything because, what am I going to say? Hey, what's up with your face is green? Are you are you a hybrid? What the heck? So I looked it up, and it could have been an infection or something. I don't know. I feel like I'm slowly taking this step to be able to see what my friends in New Orleans see. And it's really cool. So we'll see one day at a time. And it could have been, it could not have been, but I think it was. And then later on that same day, had my palms read by a gypsy, and that was a beautiful reading. And then went to a store and met a man who's a medium, and he was sharing about all kinds of stuff. And he was sharing how he saw 2 spirits are attached to me, and that was really cool. And he encouraged me to talk to them, and he shared some information about that. And then he was also sharing about how, in his community, him and another group of people were gathered together, and they got in trouble by the cops for doing voodoo. And after he explained it, at first I was like, ooh, that sounds scary. But then after I talked to him, it wasn't that he was him and the people doing this weren't attacking the people. They were attacking the evil entities, the spirits, kind of when we can be get off me, negative energy, and bless them and ask them to leave, and say in our energy only positive loving entities are allowed to be in my space. That's our free will, and we can say that. And the way he explained it was amazing. And then my coworker and I were going into all these different stores down in New Orleans, and they have little voodoo dolls. But what was cool is they have since turned it into positive energy, and it's all energy based. That's what it is. It's energy based stuff. And so now you can see in the stores where all these voodoo dolls, they're so cute. People have crocheted these little voodoo dolls, and they're happy dolls. And then in one of the stores there was a voodoo doll in a tomb, and the idea is that you can get someone's strand of hair and put it in the little box with the voodoo doll and send your energy to them. And so historically, I think the idea was that people are using these dolls to send negative energy. And yeah, like I've said in previous posts, negative energy is tough. When we think about someone with negative energy, that is impactful. And it's, we have to try to turn that dial a little bit so you can send positive energy. And it's all energy based, and it's just where we focus our thoughts. So the doll, whatever, and it was really cool because the man I talked to in that store, he's a positive, wonderful man with love in his heart, and he cares about people. And what the work that they were doing wasn't against people. It was against negative energies, and it was blessing them to get off of the people and like save our people and bring peace and love. And so I just think it's so cool to start talking to people. And like in New Orleans, everyone is so open about spirits and energy work and just the idea of these mediums and people hearing, like the lady who was reading my palms, like when she was reading, you could just tell like she was receiving messages, and it was just really cool, and it was really validating to be around people that kind of they're living it every day, everything I've experienced. And it's just so cool. And I was grateful that I could talk to him. And oh man, someday I hope I can sit down with them and just go crazy with learning. It's like a learning opportunity. But anyways, it's all love, man. It's all energy and love. So get out there and do whatever you can to love your friends and your family and the people you walk by. And just remember, as above, so below. What you put out there, you get back. So try to turn things into a positive and see what happens. Anyways, have a great day. Bye.